to start really listening to you. They sit in the witness box, which is very close to me. I am right there making eye contact with them. This is very important. They look at me, and I listen to them, and we take the evidence slow. We'll go into the petition to give them a point of reference, and then we go back in. And before you know it, they're giving me the history of their whole relationship. And certainly, the person, whether it be petitioner or respondent, certainly responds, and they give their version. And you know, the weight of the evidence, you can tell who is the victim and who is the perpetrator. And really, if you don't, you just take the time to hear it, and it does come out. No couples counseling. It's the Esperanza, thank goodness, the 52-week batterer re-education program. There's certainly drug and alcohol assessment and treatment orders of the provision. We now, thank goodness, have the Santa Fe domestic violence court compliance program. I can't tell you how essential that is to stopping domestic violence by the court, because it gives us the compliance on that we have not had, which I hope to be able to share with you today about my thoughts on the front end, getting the order of protection, the middle end, the temporary order of protection, and then finally the order of protection, which should not be finally and is never finally. And that's where you all not only come in on the shelter portion, but also on the enforcement portion. But not to lose track here, no, we don't do couples counseling. And yes, I think that certainly that is my job, is to figure out the victim and the perpetrator, and it's done.
And Rex is insisting on a fair hearing as well. So.
Thank you. 99% of the time when you walk into a domestic violence situation, before you even say a word to anybody, you spot who the offender is and who the victim is. I mean, through your experience and through your, like Ruben said, through your training, the experience, you spot it right off the bat before you even say a word to anybody. You know who the victim is.
Hello. I chair the LGBTQA work group through the CCRC, and that is, for anyone who did not know, the lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender questioning and allies. And so my question to you guys is, do you have any experience with same-sex couples and domestic violence? What's your experience been? And if not, well, actually, even if you have, if you'd be willing to undergo a sensitivity training, because there are many barriers. And I know in the statute, it doesn't specifically mention same-sex couples, even though with the intimate partner, that's inclusive. So,
I'd like to address your question. I'm Yvonne. I do have some experience. I have represented individuals involved in same-sex relationships or partnerships. I have represented individuals whose relationships are breaking up and there's property issues. I've represented individuals dealing with violence issues. I think there are some unique aspects to dealing with that particular community and their ability to come out and seek help. It is across the board that victims have trouble seeking assistance, but I think that if you offer a training, I'd be one that's willing to attend that training, because I see that the needs to serve that particular group, that particular community, as being different than the other groups that are out there, and I don't think those needs are being addressed. Having handled some of those cases, I can tell you I had difficulty with it. I trudged forward and continued and provided the service and did the best that I could, but I would be open to that type of training, and I think it's something that we need to be more in tune with in this community.
We probably have time for one more response, and then.
I'd like to respond. Yes, I've had some certainly had it in my hearings before child support and the custody issues with respect to the parenting plans and what we're going to do with respect to that. With respect to domestic violence, it is a particular area, especially since you all know that that 52-week batterer re-education program is, made up of men for the
as Sharon mentioned, that there are times when you think you don't qualify for a domestic violence order of protection, but you come in and get a civil TRO. Well, I have had a couple of matters where people were seeking civil TROs, where in fact it sounded to me like it was same-sex battering going on, and they wouldn't file under the domestic violence protection statute. I don't know why, but you know, I think that something that needs to happen is to educate people more about how they are entitled to that kind of protection, because your mindset as a judge is into different things when you're dealing with a civil TRO. Yes, it's there, and yes, you could do the same things, but it's just not as automatic as it is with the order of protection. So I just wanted to raise that as something for everybody to think about.
And we can just have a show of hands if you're open to that kind of training.
Raise their hand.
Yeah.
So we do need to draw to a close. I have some parting gifts for
I'd
y'all.
just like to ask one question,
Yeah.
because I'm here primarily for elderly abuse, but I'm just kind of confused, Ms. Cagle. Were you actually asked to resign, or was your job eliminated as a hearing officer?
Well, what happened, and I did come in and talk to everyone about this after it happened, I think. And I can't go into great detail about that because of the rules, but what I can tell you is that I resigned prior to the elimination of the job that I had. And I resigned because there was a conflict between me and another person in the court. And the reason why there was a conflict is that I found myself in a position where I couldn't proceed to hear cases one day because I didn't have adequate staff. Then I talked to a reporter, and that upset someone. So that's what happened. And that's why I tell you I have courage, because I had to leave my job. I actually resigned, but I think it was a mutual decision. The letter that's in the file is my resignation. However, I think that's why I talk to you about courage, because sometimes when you work in certain fields, you have to, especially when you have to decide whether you want to do what you think is right, even if it's at great personal expense, you're willing to do that because it means so much to you that those 30 people that should have had a hearing that day didn't, that I was willing to go to bat for them at the risk of losing my job. I did that, and I have that kind of courage, and if I had to do it again, I would. And we've had other judges in our state and justices on the Supreme Court who have done the same thing. Sometimes when you're a lawyer or when you're an officer and in different positions, you have to maintain, you have to be true to yourself and to what you believe in, regardless of what community you work for, regardless of how prestigious the agency is. And that's something that I was willing to do, and that's what happened.
So I have some parting gifts for you all to thank you. I ordered from the ABA the judicial checklist and 10 myths about custody and domestic violence and how to counter them. They're really pretty good. So this is for you. Thank you so much for being here and giving us a face of the